come the thing. The thing done become the thing. The thing done become the thing. The thing done become the thing.
Hello everyone and welcome to Doing Art. Be sure to visit the website doingart.net. You can also reach me on my website lorenschuno.com. Also on Twitter @lorenschuno. If you are listening on iTunes, please be sure to subscribe to the show and leave a comment. All right, this episode is with Charles Duke. Charles is a musician like myself, but he's definitely much more than that. I have followed his work and I am an unapologetic fan of his. After listening to the latest EP he just released called Midnight Lover, I decided that I must do everything in my power to get him on the podcast. So you can imagine my excitement when he decided to do the very first episode of the podcast. Well, I don't want to give away anything, but brace yourself because this is a very, very rich conversation. Charles is very intelligent and very forthcoming. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Charles Duke, in your face.
You turned gold. I felt you were magical, but didn't know you were a magician. You turned ghost. Your flesh and bones fell away, and nothing real remained.
Hey, Charles Duke, welcome to Doing Art.
Thank you.
I know you're not from New York, so maybe we should start there. Where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. More specifically, Lithonia, Georgia.
Oh, okay. So is that how is that in relation to Atlanta?
It's about 30 minutes outside of the city. I've noticed that a lot of people, especially people living up north, you just say that you're from Atlanta because it's easier for people to recognize that name.
Okay. Yeah, I know. That happens. I lived in Pittsburgh and everything around Pittsburgh, anywhere you're from around Pittsburgh, you just say you're from Pittsburgh just to make it easy. Right. Yeah. Okay. I want to start with the EP. Okay. I listened to it and one word, beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So that's I give it that word. So, but I have a lot of questions. I think the direction you went or the choices you made, I consider them bold. Like the choices of the song, the song choices, and even the vocalization. For instance, the first track on the EP is "Love Don't Leave You Anymore." You started at the lowest register, you know.
Right.
And then I listened to it, you're laughing. Right. You started with the lowest note you can think of. Okay.
It's funny. No,
and then you smoothly just went to, like, if you went to your tessitura, like your comfortable register, and then you did other amazing things. So maybe we should talk about a few of the songs. Let's start with Love Don't Leave You Anymore.
Okay. Yes, Love Don't Live Here Anymore. That's a tune. I mean, I was inspired to do that song because of where I was at that time of life, and the orchestration really decided everything. When I was creating the arrangement and building the track, I thought, how can I keep everything sparse but still really show what the lyrics are saying? So there was only one vocal line on the entire track. Yeah, and I tried to keep space.
Oh, that's cool.
So I started with that low part because, I mean, to say those lyrics, you've abandoned me, love don't live here anymore. I mean, it's a low point in life. And I also wanted to show...
I see.
I wanted to show a little bit because a big comment even growing up was my voice. It used to sit in a higher register. I would be soft-spoken. So folks, especially in church settings, were like, oh, so you're a tenor. You sing like high.
Yeah.
And the answer was, I can sing that high, but I am not a tenor. I'm actually a baritone.
Oh.
So it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to actually show that.
To do that.
So that's where that came from. And then I brought it back up because I wanted that not to be the focus. It's something about being able to sing right from the chest voice that really engages people.
Sometimes I just avoid it. To be able to sing really low for me, I have to be conscious of it. So I'm like, why do it? Another song on the soundtrack. On the EP.
Soundtrack.
The soundtrack, because I want to talk about it. A song from the soundtrack of a James Bond movie.
Okay. I thought of it, honestly, as a soundtrack. I mean, I call it an EP project because that's just a name that helps explain that it's not an album yet.
Yeah.
I haven't put out an official album yet. I've done a series of EP projects now.
Yes.
But I have a lot of music that I've written and recorded.
Yes.
These particular tunes went together, and I wanted them to be presented in this way, as this collection.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a soundtrack for basically the way I see nighttime, the way I experience. It sounds so weird saying that.
Yeah.
The way I experience nighttime.
Of course.
Like the vibe I get from, the neon lights, the color, the darkness, all of it. So,
So the soundtrack, this one song there that was an original soundtrack.
Okay.
License to Kill.
Right.
Yeah.
007. Yeah.
Okay. So I was having a conversation with you earlier, and you told me the only person that had recorded that song before was Gladys. It's Gladys Knight, and I think so. Knight. Yeah. So what made you choose that song?
Well, I love the James Bond movies. That was when I was in the theater when I was younger.
Yeah.
I wanted to write a James Bond theme, and for anybody out there listening who has those connections,
you're still ready.
That's what I'm here for. I want to write the James Bond movie theme. So call me up.
That's what's up.
So Gladys Knight's version, out of all the versions that I had heard up to that point. The lyrics didn't grab me the way the other songs.
It didn't for me. I didn't like the title. I didn't like License to Kill.
It was interesting. It just made me ask questions. I won't say anything beyond that point, but it made me ask questions. But the thing that I liked about it was Gladys Knight's voice.
Yes, of course.
Her voice was so captivating and engaging because she's Gladys Knight, of course.
Yeah.
But the lyrics for me. So I said, is it possible that I can put my fingerprint on this and take the lyrics and interpret them in a way that would make me look at the song differently? And that's where my approach came from. And that's why I chose to do License to Kill. I wanted to have a very serious approach to it and make the lyrics have a certain impact that that's what inspired me to do that.
All right. So from my conversation with you so far, I'm beginning to find out that you almost did everything yourself.
Yes. I did everything, all the production, all the recording, the mixing.
Wow.
Yeah, I did all that myself for this particular EP project.
Is every song on the EP a cover song?
No, I have originals on the EP project. I have 2 originals.
Which one?
Nice is an original, which a friend of mine, she talked me into releasing that.
Okay.
She said that, the ladies need this song where you're speaking. And it's funny because my mom, whenever a song would come on in the radio and it started with talk, and she's like, turn it off. So, and I
why?
said,
she doesn't like...
Well, it's like, don't talk, just get to singing. And I've actually been at so many...
So she wouldn't like Barry White?
Well, see, I think Barry White's different. His it's because he has that deep voice. He's able to do that, but my voice isn't deep like that.
Okay. I see.
But yeah, so it's a spoken word type of tune. So I wrote that song, and I was just trying to set up different imagery.
Yeah,
and I was also creating space around it to try to help tell a story. It's all about storytelling.
I see.
So Nice is an original. You Turned Ghost is an original. Probably you could hear the Prince influence.
I can't remember, but I remember listening. I listened to everything, but I remember listening to a few of them twice. Okay, and then You Turned Ghost is one of them.
Right, it's really short.
Yeah, it's really short. Yeah, I was going to say that.
It's like a ghost.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
and
too literal sometimes.
The other one is it's by Erykah Badu. I know the song as
Undercover Overlover.
Yeah, but that wasn't the title.
That's not the title
of the song she had.
It's the first part of this series that she did that was very similar to the amazing the amazing songs that she did on Mama's Gun.
Oh, okay.
It started off with Green Eyes, My Eyes Are Green. And from there, she, on this latest album that she released, did another 4-part song that goes on for like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. And it's called Out My Mind Just in Time.
Yeah.
So that first part of that song is where Undercover Overlover came from.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I wanted to do that because it was presenting another one of those moments.
Yeah.
And perhaps I should describe where the name came
Go
from.
ahead.
Midnight Lover.
Yeah.
It was inspired by Round Midnight.
Okay.
Thelonious Monk's.
Yeah.
And it was also inspired by Marvin Gaye's albums.
Oh.
So I combined those two elements, and it was my interpretation of love and emotions and nighttime. So,
nice.
You know, it's interesting to say Midnight Lover. You think all these love songs, and then you start off with, You've abandoned me, love don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
It's presenting a different story.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Nice. I wanted to talk more about your producing.
Okay.
Like, do you try to produce your own songs out of convenience? Because me, I've done some production, but I do them out of convenience.
I see. Okay.
I would really, really have somebody else worry about producing my songs. Let me just write it and play it. I'm not trying to prove anything, but sometimes as a musician, you know that other musicians, I mean, sorry to say this, but we are the flakiest people. Artists. Okay. I just feel like, maybe I'm stereotyping, but artists in general, we could be flaky, like compared to some other occupation. Like my daytime job, I teach in a school, I work as a mathematician. And I know that if you work with people in the math field, they're passionate about their job.
Right.
And they want to do it.
Okay.
They're ready to do it. But musicians and artists in general, we're passionate. But I think we are so mistreated.
Okay.
We're not encouraged enough to the point that we don't want to waste our time. So, but back to the question about production.
Okay.
Why do you choose to produce yourself? Is it like one of the things you want to be known for?
Well, this is where I was hugely inspired by Prince, and I would turn over his albums and it would say produced, recorded, arranged, composed by Prince. But I'll tell you, it's not so much that I was producing out of convenience. I've actually worked with other producers in the past, mainly as a songwriter. So there were a lot of producers who would send me some tracks and I would write like a hook for them, or I would write the song for them and then send it to them to record with another artist. Okay. So I like that because it inspires me to write different things that I wouldn't come up with myself. Yeah. As far as this EP project was concerned, I produced all the music myself because it was coming from a different place. And up to this point, I have produced all the songs that I've worked on. I'm open to collaboration. That's cool. Definitely. There was a part of convenience in it because it was easier for me to flow that way and to express myself exactly the way I was looking to do at that moment. But as far as artists being
flaky.
You said flaky. I won't say flaky because I've had the wonderful opportunity of working with some really awesome artists. Yeah. I'll say this, artists, we can sometimes be creative, but for me, as a business-minded person, I know that time is important, and if you give your word, you want to follow through with it to the best of your ability. That's why you have to sometimes really think through what you are willing to give your word to, or what you're willing to participate on.
But what about making a promise and giving your word and then ghosting?
That's a problem. That's a
problem.
That's you turn ghost, right?
Yeah.
I think I wrote a song about
that. Okay. Well, on that note, how about we talk about a few of your other songs?
Okay.
All right. The one I can remember is, and I have a beef with you about this song. All right. So it's a very beautiful song you wrote.
Okay.
For a very emotional topic. It's called For Black Men.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay.
So let's settle my beef with you.
Yeah, tell me, please.
I saw that song. I really liked it. I listened to it a few times.
Okay.
And I shared it.
Okay.
And I commented on it. And I shared it again.
Okay.
I didn't get any like. I didn't get any thank you. But that's it. That's just my beef.
Well, let me explain this. This is where, okay, so as far as my personality is concerned, let me say this. I am quite, I mean, it's weird to say this, but I'm quite introverted.
Okay.
I'm an introverted extrovert at this point, or the reverse of that. I think it's introvert, extrovert. Yeah. Meaning that when I need to go on stage and perform and do that, I can do it. Yeah. And I can hold on to being present and there for now I'm up to 30 minutes. I can be about present for 30 minutes after the show. And then it's like, oh my gosh, people, I didn't see it.
That's very understandable.
As far as
I was just trying to.
Yeah, as far as social media stuff is concerned, I'm steadily growing. And it's so funny because I research a lot of stuff. And I'm not the type that, I'm like, oh, this comes natural, that comes natural. I want to sit and research and analyze and understand it. So I'm just getting it to the point where I'm like, oh, I see this person did that, this person did this. I'm commenting and responding. So I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing it.
No, that's fine.
If you don't mind, I would like to say a couple of things about that tune. That's
we're going to come back to that topic later on, if you don't mind. Okay. I want to talk about, let's put a pin on that. I want to talk about your creating process. We talked about your production. Okay. How about songwriting? In particular, there's this question I usually ask myself, because when I write songs, lately, I usually just play with chords until I get a chord progression that I really like, and then I put some melody to it, and then I look for lyrics.
Okay.
I've written a lot of songs without lyrics, and I don't intend to put any lyric on top of them. I'm just waiting for when to become really big, if that would ever happen. And I'll end up just releasing those songs without lyrics, because I know that then people might be interested in listening to them, even though they don't have lyrics. Right. So, is lyric very important? Is it important to you? What's your creation process? Which one do you do first as a songwriter?
It's weird. I mean, the process changes depending on the space, to be honest with you. And, what that means for me is when I was in Atlanta, I would go to the piano. I would go to the keyboard. I would sit there, and I could create from being in that space. Yeah. When I was in Miami, walking down the street, I didn't have access to a piano immediately, but I would be walking down the street. I'd have my phone. Yeah. Pull that out. I'm recording a chorus or a melody even.
Wow.
Since I'm here in New York now, I wrote another tune called Jack-O-Lantern, and the way that process came about is there was an experience that I was going through at the time, and I went to the grocery store and they had pumpkins. And then I was getting ready to walk into my apartment, and I looked up and I saw the sun in the sky, and it hit me like a wall. Yeah. And I had to write the song then.
A song called Sun and Pumpkin? No.
It's called Jack-O-Lantern. But those elements came together. My imagination is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But it's different each time. Yeah. Sometimes, it's like, okay, do I want to go to bed now, or do I really need to go ahead and write this tune because I won't be able to sleep if I don't write it.
Yeah.
I've had that happen last week. So it comes from different places, but you know, if a producer sent me over a track, though, I mean, there's deadlines involved in that. So
of course,
you know, if you need to get something back at a certain point, then you're using different elements, and that's when I'm looking at getting the creative juices flowing in different ways, and I'm not waiting for perhaps a song to come to me. I'm creating the best that I can do.
Nice. So how would you classify your music? Would you R&B, soul?
You know, I can lean into soul. I can lean into that a little bit.
Yeah.
More perhaps than R&B.
Okay.
I feel like it's more eclectic than R&B, definitely. There's a lot of classical influence. Influence comes from a lot of different places, but I know I can't remember. I was working on one piece in school in my classical piano studio, and then I went to the keyboard and I just flipped it and made it into like a hip hop type of groove, and then wrote over that. And I took another Brahms piece where it starts off and it's like the third movement or something. And the chord patterns were doing something. They were moving me. And I wrote another love song over that. And so it's like Quiet Storm, adult contemporary. It's all these different elements combined, you know.
Wow. Now, when it comes to vocals, I see that you have a unique vocal, and you are one of the few people who I would say, from listening to your song, who put as much emphasis on their piano playing. You're a pianist. I don't know if people would know by now, but you're a pianist. But, you know, so put as much effort into piano playing as on vocals, into their vocals. Like, when I listened to the EP, The Midnight Lover, I saw that you spent time on the creativity on the piano as much as you spent time on what I'm just saying is that you're a good vocalist.
I appreciate it.
I find you as I would consider you a good vocalist and a good pianist at the same time. So let's talk about piano and vocals.
Okay.
Let's start with piano.
Okay.
Do you have any pianist who you would consider an influence, or anybody you just like their playing?
Wow, that's a great question. I'll tell you, there's so many incredible pianists in New York City alone. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I have a lot of pianists that I like. George Duke.
George Duke, yeah. Rest in peace, right?
Rest in peace. He was an amazing pianist.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing. That raises a question.
Okay.
It's your last. I want to talk about your name a little bit, then we'll go back.
Okay.
Your name is Charles Duke.
My name is Charles Duke.
Is that your stage name?
My name is Charles Duke.
Charles Duke. Okay, all right. How about we talk about pianists? So you have George Duke. Who else?
Do
you know Chris Bowers?
Chris who?
Chris Bowers.
Yeah, Chris Bowers. Yeah,
yeah.
He's awesome. There are so many new, I don't know, it's like a new wave of jazz, hip-hop mixture type.
Like Robert Glasper.
Yeah, they're all wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm not, that's not so much my avenue.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because my strong background in music didn't come from jazz. It came from classical.
Okay, I see.
And even when I was playing in the church, I grew up in the church and I played in the church, and that influenced my interpretation of songs. That was what was influencing my interpretation of lyrics and how music moves me. But as far as my piano playing, there was always classical influence with that. So I love the jazz, and I've delved a lot more into that, and I've studied it more. But that's their vein, and I'm a mixture of some other things.
How about vocals?
Okay.
Do you have anybody you just like listening to?
Oh, vocals, of course, like everybody.
Yeah.
It varies. I mean,
Yeah.
I listen to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, on the way over here, I was listening to Georgia and Muldrow.
I don't know.
Like a lot of indie artists. I mean,
Okay.
she's great. I love Erykah Badu.
Okay.
Alison Krauss. I mean, it's funny because I'm mentioning a lot of female singers.
Yeah,
right now.
I think it's usually like that for male vocalists.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I think we gravitate towards female vocalists. And if you're a wise male vocalist, I think you learn more from a female vocalist without sacrificing who you are, without
Right.
becoming the person,
Exactly.
because you can't go as high as you don't sing in the register to sing. So they're the best people to actually just look up to and copy whatever, learn from them, and then just do it in your own range,
Right.
and still be unique without anybody. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah.
You know.
There's something about that quality of it's something about the sound for me. Like I like writing. I've enjoyed producing for female vocalists
Okay.
a lot because I don't know. I can just hear different things, and I like to kind of test their voices too. You know.
I see.
But I love Prince. Luther
Okay.
Vandross is
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is stuff I love to listen to, but as far as me going and duplicating that,
Yeah.
I think I have a completely different voice.
Yes,
He's but he was a person I loved to listen to. Abby Lincoln, she's been
Oh,
having,
yeah.
like, I actually covered one of her songs, Throw It Away.
Oh, okay.
On the EP
Oh, the
project.
EP, okay.
Yeah, she was her interpretation, the way she would take her time but still be in the rhythm. It was something about that. She told a story.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
liked that.
Okay. Now, when you create your song, or in your creation process, there's something I usually do.
Okay.
This might be really dumb,
No.
but when I'm writing a song, if I'm in the period of maybe writing a lot of songs, I usually stop listening to music, to other people's music.
Okay.
Like I just want to be informed by my life experience.
Oh, I see.
You know, and not any other thing. Like I try not to borrow anything.
Okay.
Like I have this crippling fear of totally just ripping off a whole chord progression from a song without knowing. You know, maybe I have the melody, I have the song progression in my head. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
And after doing it, I don't know. Like I have that crippling fear. Even though the place, I mean, I live in America now, but most of my influence is jazz mixed with African music,
Right.
and most of the times after doing my music, it doesn't sound like anything
Okay.
that's played on radio or anything that anybody has heard, you know. So my question for you is, do you have any of those kind of
Like a habit
rituals?
like that?
Yeah, like it's kind of stupid rituals.
It's not a super ritual at all. I know exactly what you're getting at
Yeah.
with that. And I mean, we've seen that in the news recently.
Oh yeah,
certain
yes,
situations
exactly,
about that.
yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be that chord progressions, as I understand it, are not
Patentable.
copyrightable, but it's supposed to be melody and lyrics.
Yeah.
That's where the emphasis used to be.
Yeah.
So as far as the chord progressions are concerned, I know when I was telling people about songwriting, you hear this. I mean, take a power pop song, you're going to hear what is it, 1, 5, 6, 4.
Yeah.
Like that chord progression movement is going to just be
Yeah.
the thing. Now, when I started going deeper into jazz music, I look up and I'm adding like all these added notes to my chords and doing certain movements that you wouldn't normally do if you're writing a pop song or something. So I started to think in the style of what I'm writing to try to figure out what message am I trying to tell.
I see. Yeah.
And things change depending on the genre. Some stuff is more important, like in pop,
Yeah.
you know, the chorus may be most important.
Yeah.
In jazz, it's probably all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I think about those elements, but I don't know. I don't think I shut myself off from other other music, but I feel that a big part of the reason why I was able to have this approach, I guess, with the EP project is because I didn't feel that it was complete until I had sung the song, it had been produced, it had been recorded, and all that. So if it's on paper, I have like a lot of stuff on paper.
Yeah.
I don't consider that done because it hasn't been realized yet, you know?
Yeah.
So in that process, I'm listening to what I'm writing at the time and not really listening to a ton else. So.
All right. Okay. Let's go to, I want to talk a little bit about performing.
Okay.
I met you at an open mic. That was where we met at Cafe Vivaldi.
Cafe Vivaldi.
Yeah. So, and the last time I spoke to you, one time, not the last time, one of the times I chatted with you, you told me that you don't do open mics that much anymore.
Well, yeah, I don't really do open mics that much anymore. I mean, they're awesome and it's really cool. You meet great people there.
Yeah.
And it's a great way of just getting used to performing. I did a lot of open mics over the years.
Okay.
The thing about New York that's really wonderful is you book a show. Like you get your stuff together, you send stuff out, and you keep at it, and you book a show. You hopefully build a following. I'm in the process of doing all of those things. But the audience up here listens, and I like that. I like that the audience listens up here.
Yes. Yeah.
Open mics are really wonderful, but it can sometimes take a lot of time.
True.
And you know, sometimes there are politics that may go into it. And you just realize that there's another way.
True. I see what you're
so
saying.
It's really wonderful. And I'll say this about Cafe Vivaldi in particular. The owner, he's an incredibly wonderful person. That was the first place that I had a show when I moved to New York.
Me too.
Yeah, and he's so supportive of musicians, and it's a really wonderful vibe that he's created there. Actually, one of the pianists who I think is incredible, he performs there. And he's a good friend of mine. He's just like, dude is genius. So
nice.
It's a lot happening there, and there aren't a lot of spaces that have that type of vibe to it. I think that open mics are good to perform at to promote your upcoming show.
How about in Harlem?
Okay.
That's where you live. Are there any places you would recommend for musicians? Maybe musicians in the soul R&B genre,
right.
You know, because it seems from what I noticed, like Cafe Vivaldi is more of it's eclectic, but at the same time, folk, it's geared towards more folk and rock, soft rock, indie.
Yeah.
So and from
which
what
I love, by the way,
yeah, of course,
I love some folk music.
Yeah. From what I've seen, like if you're trying to maybe be a singer songwriter in the soul R&B genre,
right.
You know, I don't know if there's any good place for you because most of the open mics have a band,
right?
You know, they have like a house band, and maybe I think they only let you sing or they'll only let you perform if they're going to play for you. But sometimes you just want to play your own thing, play your guitar and piano and sing solo. So
it's so funny that you say that because that was my thing. When I first came to New York, I don't know. There was something about this city. My mom, she's just really wonderful. She's like, you can go to New York and you're just going to do it. So, you know, I was like, day 2, I meet Clive Davis.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful journey. You have to embrace the journey part of it.
Yes.
So with me being so strong with my desire for people to hear my songs,
yes.
I mean, that's been something that's just mesmerized me and held me captive for a while now. So when I got here, I said, I'm going to perform my songs for people to hear them.
Yeah.
What that meant was I would go to those particular open mics where covers were expected.
Yeah.
And I would sit down at the piano and I would play my song.
And what would the drummer and the bassist and the other things, the guitarists,
At
what do they
first,
do?
they looked at me like, okay, what are you doing? What is this?
Yeah.
We don't know this. What is this? So
But do they end up joining you, or do you tell them that you want to play solo?
they would end up joining me.
Okay.
I've functioned as music director a couple of times, and this is stuff
Okay.
we pull from church also.
Yes,
growing
yeah,
up in
of
church,
course,
knowing
yeah.
how to talk to bands
Yeah.
and stuff. The jazz role is great because you're having that conversation while you're playing.
Yeah.
So once I realized how it worked,
Yeah.
I would play through it. I would play through probably the top part of it,
Yeah.
and then I would encourage them to join in with me.
Do you deliberately pick songs that the chord progressions are not?
Yeah, I mean, you can't pick a
To-
crazy tune
yeah,
that has
okay.
like, all these different changes and meter changes and all
Yeah,
that, and
okay.
expect people to be able to rock out with
Yeah,
you.
immediately.
That would be a problem.
Yeah.
I know even me backing people up at certain instances when they like. Actually, I was at an open mic in Harlem, and this girl got up there and she wanted to do a Lauryn Hill song or something,
Yeah.
and the pianist didn't know it, and I wasn't. I was just in the audience. I wasn't
Yeah.
even trying to. So he just let her do her thing, and she got real flustered. She did another song, and she
Yeah.
wanted to do her song. So she stopped the band. She's like, "I'm sorry, I really want to do my own song." She had like a little breakdown.
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, you don't stop the band. You keep going.
Yes.
Second of all, like, what is really going on? This
Yeah.
is New York City. So
She plays her own. She plays an instrument.
no, she doesn't play an instrument.
Oh.
So I went up there and I sat down and I played the song that she was trying to do.
Yeah.
'Cause I knew it. And we did it, and it was fine. She got through it, and it was cool. And then I find that the musicians in New York are really cool. I mean,
Yes,
everybody's
yeah.
really, for the most part, pretty chill.
Yeah.
I just think that they're different things at different places. So, like certain venues, really, they only want to hear your original music. Like
Yes, like
Vivaldi,
Vivaldi. Yeah.
they're really great with that. That's why I
Yeah,
love them so
yeah.
much, because they walk in, you walk in, and it's like a
Yeah.
cover. We've heard that.
Yes.
We want to hear what
You
you can do.
created.
Other
Exactly.
places, though, a friend of mine, she pointed this out to me because I know there were some places I would go to,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing my original music, and
Yeah.
the audience is responding to it. They like it,
Yes.
but you would be able to really grab them and grab their interest to do something else
Yeah.
if you're doing a cover to help just introduce them to it.
Yeah.
You know? So
I see.
it's different for different places.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk a little bit more about the gigs you've performed.
Okay.
Maybe do you have anyone in particular that you came out of and you're like, okay, this makes me feel good. This makes me want to continue.
Okay.
Because I know that as a musician myself,
Right.
I know there are a lot, or there are a few gigs that you come out of, you're like, okay, should I still, is this worth it? Should I keep doing this? You know, but I want to hear a good story, maybe one that you've performed,
Okay.
that you came out and you're like, okay, I'm meant to do this.
Well, I'll tell you. It's interesting you bring that up. I was at another place in Harlem. I think this was sometime last year.
Yeah.
A friend of mine called me up and was like, "You got to come out to this." Actually, it was an open mic. You got to come out to this open mic, and I was like, I don't know. It was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'd say, because me not being from the city.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, winters here are something else.
Yeah, of course.
So you have to be. It requires a certain level of. I don't know. You need a certain level of passion.
Yes. And resilience.
Resilience is a great word for it. Resilience is a wonderful word
and
for it.
industry.
Yes, all those things. All those things. And it's good to know that.
Yeah.
So I went out to the open mic. I saw that there were people there, and he put my name on the list to perform, and I didn't know it. And I'm like, wait, what's this about? So I thought, okay, what am I going to do? Because sometimes that's what would go through my head. What am I going to sing? Should I do a cover? Should I do this? And I said, no, well, I came here to do my music. So
Yes.
as if this is the situation, I'm going to do that. So I played the song, and I was teaching it to the band really quick as I'm like playing through, and they were picking it up.
Wow.
And I think I said, let's do it as a bossa groove. And they did it as a bossa groove. And it's a message that I wrote.
Like bossa nova?
Yeah, bossa nova.
Okay.
It's a message song because I've written a couple of message songs, especially off of my first EP that were really messages to me to inspire myself.
Yeah.
And it was hopefully to inspire other people in the process.
Yeah.
So this was a tune that did that. I finished singing it, and the audience, they clapped and they were really with me. And I thought, oh, that was really nice.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
You didn't know when you were performing that they were with you?
Well, I couldn't.
You couldn't tell.
Sometimes you can't really tell.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot.
I saw people humming and singing, but when I stepped off the stage, people were asking where could they purchase that song.
Wow.
And then the lady came back up. She said, "We got to do that back again." So the band brings it back, and they're singing it, and they take like the next 10 minutes, and they're like still singing the song and playing it. And
wow.
people start dancing. There's like this salsa dance group that comes over, and they start dancing. Then the horns come in. It was, and the whole place erupted into this like joyous celebration, playing my original song.
Yeah, wow.
And at this time, I'm in my seat, like just watching it all
just watching
happen.
what happens.
And I could see like people being moved.
That's wonderful.
And
that's
it was
a good feeling.
It was weird. It was wonderful, but it took me back to the very beginning of why I started any of this, playing in church and, playing my mom and dad to sleep when they're sitting on the couch on Sunday afternoons after church.
Yeah.
Just listening to the music. I saw that, and I saw like people who were kind of teary-eyed because New York has this hard shell about it, and you can't really see by looking at someone what they're going through.
Yeah.
But I saw like these walls falling down, and you could see the person again.
Yeah.
And it was because of where the lyrics came from.
That's what's up. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Wow. Nice. So you just said that took you to the very beginning. Right. I want to talk more about that beginning. So how about we go back to the beginning?
Okay.
So, you're from Georgia, Atlanta. Okay.
Georgia.
Oh, would you tell us a little bit about your family background?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my mom's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
I mean, everybody says that about their mom, but no, she was my first piano teacher.
Okay. Okay.
She started off playing piano, and she didn't continue with it because she had stage fright.
Wow.
And I never understood that. She would play at home, and it was, she would read.
Did she
stuff.
talk to you about the stage fright?
Only when I was older, she mentioned it to me that's like really why she didn't.
She stopped playing.
Didn't continue. Yeah. And my dad and I have a younger sister too.
Okay.
She did not take piano. She used to sing.
Yeah.
And then she pulled away from wanting to sing too. But she's into film and television stuff. So she's really.
Nice.
I'm proud of her.
Nice.
But yeah, my mom was my first teacher, and I went from her to studying with another classical pianist. She taught me the notes, but then I went and studied with the classical pianist, and I studied with the church pianist for a second. And then I met another lady who was really just a wonderful piano teacher, and she taught me a lot.
Nice. Did you go to? So how about? High school?
Oh, high school. Okay.
How was high school, middle school, high school? Okay. I call everything high school. I didn't go to school in the US.
Right. I know what you mean. So, for us, high school.
We call it secondary school, but I just call everything high school. So middle school and high school.
Okay.
Did you perform a lot? Were you known as the music kid?
I was.
Okay.
I mean, that started in elementary school for me.
Oh, okay.
And that gets at a lot since it's funny. It's been a whole process.
Yeah.
For me, my identity was, before anything, my identity was piano.
Okay.
And then from there, I wanted to sing, but I was terribly shy when it came to singing.
Oh.
I was not about to. I mean, then if you asked me to sing in front of somebody without a piano, it was done. That wasn't even an option.
The funny thing is that before I preferred to sing without a piano.
Oh, really? Wow.
But now it's like that's what's happening to me.
Yeah.
I can't just stand and in front of a band and say, I'm like, well, in my mind, I'll be going like, I don't know, what do you take me for?
Right.
Also, I don't know. I just
feel
just
like
want
they're trying to do something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to change something on me,
Exactly.
pull something on me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So please continue. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was known as the music kid,
Oh,
and
okay.
I would play piano. And whenever I walk in a room and I saw a piano, I felt like I had a friend there
Wow.
in the room. Because I mean, I didn't even speak in class. I mean, I graduated 6th grade, and I remember coming in contact with some people I went to elementary school with, and they're like, "You're in my class? Oh, I don't even remember.
Wow.
You didn't even say anything." And yeah, I just wouldn't speak. But I got to middle school, and all that changed. I was in the symphonic band. I was playing alto saxophone.
Nice.
I was doing every band imaginable at that time, like symphonic band, marching band, jazz band, all of it.
Yeah.
Went to high school, did chorus, was studying music theory. I mean, it was really great. And music music's been that constant thing. Piano's always been there. So I just knew that this was what I wanted.
That's amazing
to do.
I always envy people who knew right from the very start that this is what they want to do in the arts.
Right.
You know, it never came like that to me. Of course, when I was younger, I knew what I want. I knew I wanted to do something in the arts, but I couldn't even fathom the idea of telling my parents that I didn't want to.
Well, yeah, because I've seen that a lot though.
Yeah.
It's the parents.
Yeah, it's the parents. It's like, oh, you got to do something in the sciences,
right?
You know,
right.
that's how my parents were.
Yeah, and luckily my mom. I mean, I'll say I'm so blessed in that regard because she was supportive.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had piano lessons that were. I remember there was one piano lesson with this amazing teacher. People have been so giving.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be, I think, an hour.
Yeah.
It was either 30 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
I was going over this Beethoven piece, and I had a huge breakthrough in that lesson in my sound and the way I approached piano. And that one lesson that was supposed to be like 30 minutes to an hour turned into a 3-hour lesson.
Wow.
And my mom's outside the whole time, just sitting in the car doing her Sudoku puzzle. And she's like, well, I just knew that everything was working out the way that it should.
That's good.
You know, it's just, and it's that type of stuff when I'm having certain moments and you think about everything. It doesn't cross my mind to quit at all.
Wow.
Like I know that things may sometimes, not be what you want them to be, but every day is a great day when you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
And with me being even in New York, like having gotten to this point and living here, it's just such a wonderful blessing. And I don't know. I call it a faith walk because I couldn't have planned any of this to happen the way that it did.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I'm a planner too.
Yeah.
There's no way I could have planned any of this. I could really tell the story,
Wow.
but I didn't know any of this was going to go down the way it did. So
that's amazing.
It's been great.
Now I want on that note, I would like to talk a little bit about the business of being an artist.
Yes.
Not necessarily the money, just the business, the hustle of just being an artist. Like I was saying,
steady on the grind.
Yeah. I was saying about how I hope everybody who is an artist forgives me, but I just feel like artists tend to be kind of flaky a little bit.
You've been through some stuff. Let's talk about it.
And I have a reason for that.
I understand.
I don't think people encourage artists.
Okay.
If you come to somebody and tell the person that, oh, you're going to grad school for engineering,
right?
You know, they praise you. They're like, wow, keep doing what you're doing. They keep encouraging you, telling you, do us proud, you know, stay with that education.
Right.
But if you tell somebody you're trying to be a musician, even sometimes if you tell them you're going to school for music, a lot of people will discourage you.
Of course, I've actually had that happen.
Exactly. They will discourage you to your face.
Yeah.
You know?
I went to one of those schools and they were like, they told my mom, like, what, really? You're going to let him do that?
Yeah.
It was really funny.
So the discouraging. So that's my take. And that's the reason, I feel like that's the reason why artists turn out to be maybe a little jaded and they don't want to be bothered with anything that's not worth their time. Or if they just sense a little bit that's not going to turn out well, they tend to avoid it, you know?
Well, I don't know if that's an artist's thing, to be honest with you. And I mean, to clarify with me, I think I mentioned this earlier about being business minded. You have to I was involved in music in school, and I was accepted into the music school, but I didn't study just music. I studied,
Did you go to college for music? If I may ask?
I studied music business and Spanish.
Oh, nice.
And I studied certain elements of marketing, and I had a classical piano principal also.
Yeah.
So it ended up being like business courses.
Yeah.
And,
this was in Miami.
Spanish courses.
University of Miami. Okay.
University of Miami.
Okay.
Right. So I feel that it's important to know about the world, especially now. And we're in such a different time. I mean, there's so much information that's just readily accessible.
Yeah.
I feel that with everything, regardless of whether or not you're an artist, whether you're a business person, whatever you're doing, integrity. You know, it boils down to simple values.
Yeah.
And that has to do with more how people are raised or what they deem most important.
That's adorable.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't. In a kind of cynical way, in a kind of pessimistic way.
I hear you.
Because not a lot of people won't say that, you know. But the way you say, the way you talked about it, integrity, it just sounds. I can see that you truly believe in it, and a lot of people don't.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, that's been a thing about New York. I've been in a lot of different. I mean, up here, you're meeting people all the time from different walks of life all the time. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
But for the most part, regardless of what people do, you can tell where their values lie just by hanging around them or listening to them speak. A lot of time, I just listen. You know, people will ask stuff, perhaps, or they may ask you to be involved in certain projects.
Yeah.
You can't. You just need to gather more information sometimes. Sometimes you can do stuff because you know the type of person involved.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with integrity. You know,
that's true.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. I want to ask you a question that I don't believe in asking.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask it this way. What does success mean to you as an artist?
Okay. Wow.
Or when do you... Because people are all... Like when you hear interviewers or when you hear people interviewing, talking about artists,
right.
You know, again, going back to the fact that the society doesn't encourage artists, I wanted to end that, what I was saying, by saying that they don't encourage them until they become successful. That's when we notice them, you know. And I don't... That's success to them, to those people, to maybe the society in general, is being heard, being famous,
right.
You know, to the point that everybody knows your name. But I bet that to most artists, that's not... I don't know if that's success. Okay. You know, personally, to me, that's success, but that's not a kind of success. If that happens, I'll be really, really happy.
Right.
You know, success to me just means, I don't know, I want to hear your own take on what being successful as an artist mean to you, because now you're a full-time artist, you're a full-time musician,
okay.
And this is what you do. So what would success mean to you?
Well, I think what I'm discovering is success has many different levels to it. I mean, there's a financial element involved in it.
Okay.
There's a personal level involved in it. What is success for me at this moment is it's the ability to do what I love.
Exactly. That's good. I like that. Okay.
I like that definition for it right now.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that goes into maintaining that.
Exactly.
It's what would be success for me with the songwriting would be to impact as many people's lives as possible with the stories that I'm striving to tell. There's certain stories I write, they're supposed to be entertaining. There are other stories that I write, they're supposed to be inspiring. They're supposed to make change happen. I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the way I would define success.
Now, on the journey towards being able to do what you have passion for, I want to hear what you have to say, and you might not agree with me. I feel like it's okay to have failures.
Right. It's necessary.
It's necessary. Okay. Failure, like, have you had any? Or
Yes.
and how do you approach it? Do you embrace it
Well,
and learn from? I mean, just
the thing about this, I'll tell you, the thing about interviewing is it's easy to sometimes say what you think the majority of people would agree with.
Yes.
And sound really thought-provoking and philosophical.
Yeah.
And all of those things. I mean, we all want to be seen as enlightened ones.
Exactly.
Perhaps.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, the reality of it is there's some stuff that it takes some time to grow into. So as far as failure is concerned, I mean, gosh, it's funny. I can just there's a lot. There's a lot.
Okay.
But it's necessary. And the thing about it is, looking back now, it wasn't failure. It was part of the process to get me here. I would like to tell the story, but then
no, I understand.
But for example, New York. I'm here in New York now. A friend of mine, she kept saying, "Hurry up, take your time." But I told her I was in Atlanta. Like, I visited here a couple of years ago, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice," but it just, I was like, "That's neat." It's New York, But she said, "Hurry up, take your time." And
what does she mean by that?
Well, she meant, hurry up. Oh, okay, you're doing what you need to do in Atlanta. That's your thing, and I understand that things are happening a certain way, but she understood that there were more opportunities for me here and in New York City. Yeah. And I don't know how long that means I'll be here. Yes. But I know that it's part of my journey now. And without the failures, I wouldn't this wouldn't have been an option or a possibility at all. Yeah.
And do you think that in each of the failures you've encountered, do you think that you took something out of them?
Yeah,
out of each and every one of them. Okay, yeah.
Or else you're just bitter.
Yes. Like in my own case, like I've just made it a point. Like I've just stipulated to the fact that there's gonna be failure.
Right.
I should just run towards it and learn something from it.
Right.
And get it over with, and just keep on with the journey, because I just feel like there's gonna be the failure is gonna come either one way or another.
Right. I just call it learning. I
mean, learning.
I love to learn. I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
There's another way to phrase it. I think I try to dress nice and all that stuff. Yeah. Now. But I mean, in college days, I was just a nerd. I mean,
okay. We'll come back to that.
Okay. But yeah, I wouldn't say that the focus is on necessarily failing or failure. The focus is on effort. The focus is on trying. Yeah. The focus is on doing. The focus is on action.
Yes.
And not everything that we do will generate the results that we want. But you look at it, you reassess, you see what you have learned from the situation. Yeah. Move forward in a better way.
Definitely.
And there's only one way to do that. I mean, there's several ways not to fail.
Yeah.
And they all involve not doing anything. So that's the way that I approach.
Yeah. And
it's easier. I mean, it's easier said now because I'm in that process of being out of my comfort zone and moving and doing new things and trying things, and it makes you feel alive.
Yes.
Like there are a lot of people who really aren't living, and I know this because I've seen it.
Yes, me too. I've
come in contact with a lot of people who are living, though, and that part is just infectious, and it makes you want to, really go for it.
Yes, yeah. Now let's talk about your involvement in your activist personality, for lack of a better way to put it. I like what you talked about. We talked a little bit about one of the songs you made, the four black men,
Right.
And it came out of what was going on at the time and what's still going on now.
Right.
And like I don't even have a question because sometimes just thinking about it just throws me off balance.
Right.
You know, so I don't know if you have anything you would maybe I could learn from you. Just say something because like today I was just thinking about I see the laws in America as very contradictory. Like a cop could pull you over for not wearing your seatbelt. Mm-hmm. So why is he pulling you over? Because he wants to help you not die.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So maybe write you a ticket or something. But if you try to come out of the car and he tells you not to come out, and maybe you didn't hear it,
right.
or maybe you heard it and you still try to come out, right. knowing quite well that you are unarmed,
right.
he would kill you and get away with it in the process of trying to save your life. So
right.
I don't know. I don't have a question.
I have quite a few, and I'm gonna. Okay. Well, okay. So I should have mentioned this before. It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Nina Simone is, and right now, this started a couple of years ago. To be honest, she has been a massive influence on me, as her approach to her music.
Yeah,
I'll say.
Yeah.
Around this particular subject.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I felt this way for the longest. I wrote a tune about Hurricane Katrina. When that happened, I felt that what I could give is my music and the art, and I know that more than that is required. But this is what I have to give, and hopefully this can help bring people together on issues to impact change and make decisions in a manner that would allow things to change and move forward. Mm-hmm. I wrote for Black men because I felt that people were not seeing the humanity of these individuals.
Yep.
They were just seeing the headline.
Yes.
And they didn't realize that, it reads a certain way. Mm-hmm. And when you read it tomorrow and it reads the same way, and when you read it tomorrow and it reads the same way, you become desensitized. And you forget that we're talking about people who have people that cared about them and who lived lives. Yeah. So I started off the song speaking about Amadou Diallo because that happened in 99 or so. It's been a while that we've been having this conversation in the United States of America. But I don't know if it was it wasn't Trayvon Martin. It was, I don't know. It was, maybe it was Michael Brown and then it was Eric Garner. I'm not sure which one it was now. The stories are running together. It's been so many.
It was Eric Garner.
Well, what happened was there was a march taking place at 42nd Street.
Okay.
Like the week before.
Yeah.
And people were holding their hands up, saying, hands up, don't shoot. And then like a week later, there was a march taking place at 42nd Street. Yeah. And people were holding it. And I said, wait, because I was busy working and doing all this other stuff. I said, wait, is this the same incident? Because didn't they just march?
Yeah.
So I wrote that tune because the way it happens, especially now, we'll take a picture, we put on a hoodie or hands up, and we will go on about our lives here in the United States of America, not realizing that there were people that you were supposed to go out and vote for, who were supposed to represent you, who were supposed to do certain things to represent your community. So holding your hands up and taking a picture, it may help create a cultural awareness that may make the news. People cover the story for longer than perhaps 2 seconds. Yeah. But as far as impacting change, it doesn't do as much. That's why we show up at the polls. And even when it's raining, we don't have a 20% outcome and then expect our communities to be treated a certain way. Yeah. That's what that song's about. It's showing the cycle. Yeah. It's showing the humanity of the individuals involved, but it's also showing the cycle of how this works. Okay, so this happens. We log onto Twitter. We log onto social media. We do this. Then we go back to living our lives. Yeah. You have to do something different if we want a change.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
do you think that? Do you think that it ends up being politicized while it shouldn't. Personally, I don't think it's a political issue.
Okay.
It's a simple human rights issue.
Yes.
The fact is that they're killing innocent, unarmed people.
Right.
And whether we want to agree with it or not, there's racism involved in it. There's racism. There's lack of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's huge.
Yeah.
I could actually speak about that part because that's huge for me. The empathy that influences a lot of what I do. I feel for other people, and I can put myself in the position of other people and feel what they feel.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes to extreme levels, I can feel what they're going through. I've been in so many types of places and among so many different types of groups of people. And I've traveled. And there are folks who just can't feel. They just cannot see.
Yeah.
They just don't get it. I was actually headed to a play when the first protest was taking place. Yeah. And it was like I think it was a 7 p.m. call or so. It was to see a showdown on Broadway. Yeah. And I was walking in the theater, barely made it, but stuff was going on. There was a protest happening. People were blocking streets. They weren't letting, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. There's stuff that people needed to address. Yeah. I got there. There was a lady in front of me, a couple ladies in front of me, and she said, "Oh my heavens, I barely made it. Could you believe they weren't letting us cross the street? There was some protest happening or something. We almost missed the play." And the usher looked at her with a blank face. Yeah. Like, are you serious? Like, just, wow. I looked at her like, are you kidding right now? Yeah. And just took a seat. Meanwhile, while the play is happening, a soldier is killed in this particular play that I saw. And that's one of the scenarios that played out, and the audience is in tears. Yes.
That's the contradiction that I don't get. Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So art has a place.
Yes.
Art has a place.
Of course. Yeah.
She just couldn't feel it because she couldn't relate to that particular storyline. It was too far removed from her.
Yeah. I know. That's the part that I see that makes me want to cry. Like, I actually wrote a song about it. My approach was just to be straight up. This is what I'm feeling about it. To be naked about it. I'm going to make you listen to it. I'm going to send you a link. It's called Wait.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, but the chorus is Wait, don't shoot me.
I think it's important to talk about these issues.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
I mean, honestly, I was Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
His latest.
I haven't listened to it.
You gotta check it out.
I should check it out.
I don't even really, I listen to a lot of different types of music. Yeah. I don't listen to rap all the time. It's not the thing that I would turn on more immediately. But, I went there because it's current. And I listened to it. And it was, he speaks in a way that is necessary. It captures what a lot of people feel. Yeah. It captures the confusion. It captures the anger. It captures the uncertainty of how to move forward. Yeah. I think that being from the United States of America, I know that my outlook is different, and I know that it's different from yours. And I'm fascinated by your outlook because I feel that right now, with what's taking place here and what's taken place here historically, there is a certain level of hypocrisy that can come up.
I know.
And that's when you have the world looking at human rights violations and talking about it as a human rights issue. Yeah. Whereas we in America sometimes want to call it political issue.
Yeah. Race issue. Race baiting,
So which is it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I know which one it is.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But how do you continue the dialogue, continue the conversation, get people to really see what's going on and want to do something about it?
Yeah. It's a very It's a very disturbing issue, and it's an issue that we could talk about for days.
Sure.
We could stay there for days. How about we just stop it there and continue it later on? I've talked about a lot of the things I want to talk about, and a lot are just coming. A lot of questions are just coming to my mind, but I think we should try to round it up.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. I told you about the two segments. One is it's called Just Wondering.
Okay.
Another one is NYD. No, you did not. You didn't. So let's start with Just Wondering.
Okay.
I had a question for Just Wondering, but now you changed the question for me.
Okay.
Now the current question is this: what is the difference? This is just something that comes to my mind. I just wonder about these things. What's the difference between a geek, a nerd, and a dork? I have my take, but I want to hear your take.
Well, I don't know. I think a geek and a nerd are the same thing.
You think so? Okay.
Well, I think a geek is more the the aesthetic look of it with the glasses and the suspenders. It's so funny because it used to be Urkel, but now that's like the hipster look.
Yeah.
So, that's traditionally, I think, what geek meant like skinny, no muscles, not athletic, but smart. Nerd, I suppose, means that you are smart and book smart. You study, you are studious.
Yeah.
But perhaps you don't look that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But a jock is supposed to be
dork.
A what? A dog?
Dork. Am I giving you the right pronunciation? DORK.
A dork.
A dork.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. I know I have an accent, but
a little bit. Okay, so a dork. A dork. I don't even know. I guess that's like a person that's not cool. You're a dork. So, yeah, it's like a not cool type of individual that can generally be associated with being a geek or a nerd. I guess.
Interesting. You want to hear my take?
Okay, tell me your take.
My take is that a nerd, it's somebody who is passionate about something, who has like intense interest in something, maybe comic books, maybe video games, maybe music, even maybe politics.
Okay.
Like you could be a political nerd, but you're just passionate about that thing.
Right.
You're nerdy about it.
Right.
Okay.
I'll take that. That makes more sense. I like that definition.
Okay. Then a geek is somebody who, I don't know if geek can be used outside of technology.
Yeah, they use it a lot in tech.
Yeah,
in technology.
maybe not. Well, yeah, a geek is somebody. I think
smart.
Yeah, a geek is somebody who is smart.
Yeah,
that really can tackle a problem.
Okay,
that's my take. And a dork is somebody who is just curious.
I see.
Who is just curious and just doing whatever to fit into the culture of either being geeky or being nerdy. Okay. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm being more gracious.
I don't even know. I mean, it sounds right. This day and age, I don't even know I don't even know what to call anything anymore.
And the word nerd has been reclaimed. I think it's like it means something very positive now. Before you can't call somebody a nerd. I was asking.
I reclaimed it. I mean, I never felt badly about it because it was just the truth.
Oh, well, cool.
Like.
Nice. It became a question. Yeah, it became a question to me because my students, I was talking, like I try to be really open with them, like have a relaxed class environment. And we're talking one day, and one of them said, I think I said I was a nerd, and one of them said, "You're not a nerd.
Okay.
You're just smart." I'm like, okay, am I a geek? He's like, no. The whole class like, no, you're not a geek.
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, maybe I'm just a dork. They're like, no, you're not a dork.
Wow.
You're neither. So like I was trying to see where I fit in, but I guess, yeah. All right. So that's it for Just Wondering.
Okay.
I need like a jingle, a small jingle for each of these segments.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Now, how about I want to use the acronym NYD.
Okay. NYD.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, for me?
Yes, it's for you.
Gosh, there's so many of those. Let me see. But there's the one that I thought about more recently since I was riding the subway up here.
Yeah.
I remember when I first got here to New York, and I was like, oh man, it's so crowded. There's so many people all over the place. And that used to really do something to me because people's circle, like their personal space circles, are small here. Like I was sitting all the way on the end.
Yeah.
This lady comes and sits right next to me. I'm like, they're all these seats open. Are you serious right now? So it's that type of stuff that I'm like, man, I just need a moment.
Yeah.
So all the train cars were crowded. I said, oh, that car is empty. Oh, thank goodness. This is my perfect day.
Yeah.
And I got on that car.
Yeah.
And it was like the worst smell.
Oh my gosh.
Smell in my life, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, "Oh my god, I have to get off here!" But then I was thinking, I can't walk through the doors. Because you get a citation for that. Like I didn't know anything when I first arrived about like the transit type stuff. So that was my no, you didn't.
No.
Yeah, and I was like, now I understand it. You go with the, like there was something about this on BuzzFeed. You go with the herd. It's like if there's nobody in that car,
there's a reason for it. I see. That makes sense. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. How about I think we're good. So you have any plugins to do? Well, tell us about your site. I'm going to put everything on the website. Okay, I'm going to put the links to your music. Awesome. Do you have a website?
I do have a website.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just put links to everything. Just send me all the links. Then I'll just put everything. But still mention it. Yeah. Mention all the handles. And
right now I'm working on new music. I'm actually writing for my first album.
Okay, nice.
And I have shows coming up, and all that information can be found on my website at www.charlesdukemusic.com.
Okay.
I've got the Instagram.
That's what's
Instagram's
up.
Duke Charles.
Okay.
And I'm researching how to get more followers and all that.
They'll come.
I'm looking for interesting people to follow. There's some cool pictures that people post and some really cool things. I have the Twitter. I have the Twitter, right?
Okay.
Charles_Duke.
Okay.
And all this stuff is on my website.
On your website? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. Charles Duke, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this.
No problem.
Had fun. Later.
I'm a recovering undercover over lover, recovering from a love I can't get over, recovering undercover over lover. Now my common law lover thinks she wants another, and I'd lie for you, I'd cry for you, I'd pop for you, I'd break for you, I'd hate for you, and I'll hate you too if you want me to. I braid for you, crochet for you, make it from scratch for you, leave off the latch for you, go to the store for you, do it some more for you, do what you want me to, guess I'm a fool for you. Recovering from a love I can't get over, recovering undercover over lover, and now my common lover thinks she wants another, and I'd lie for you, I'd cry for you, I'd pop for you, break for you, and hate for you, and I'll hate you too if you want me to. My love for you, chop and screw for you, pay all the rent for you. It's true. Thought I was through with you, thought I was through with you. ring undercover. Oh, for your lover now.